important piece here. You know, we think with our brains, we create God with our brains. God doesn't come from the outside. Religious belief comes from the inside. The acceptance of delusions and imaginary friends as reality is a form of mental illnesses. That's what neurologists define as psychosis. Religious beliefs are like that, a form of mental illness.
And so it was that early humanity kept in touch with the divine through many gods, each of which could be contacted directly and for a specific purpose.
Only one God as the object of their devotion, but they believed that other gods existed. And Abraham behaved like a typical pagan. When he arrived in Canaan, he didn't bring his old gods with him because they weren't effective in that area anymore. He immediately started to worship the local god, El.
We animals begin as a sperm fertilized in an egg, forming a zygote.
Most four-legged creatures can walk soon after birth. So why do human babies need a year before they can take their first wobbly steps?
Humans are born with really enormous brains for their body size, fast rate of growth early on after birth, and that's one of the reasons why we take so long to grow up.
Over the coming months, the human baby will develop based largely on its experiences of the world. It makes evolutionary sense for human babies to have a grasp of math early on. It's deep inside the most complex mechanism in the universe.
The brain.
The brain.
The creator of God.
The newborn's brain is an incredible learning machine that builds itself by adapting to its environment.
Passage from the world of the dead to the world of the spirit. The body must come feet first into the village. In voodoo, contact with a chicken purifies the body. Still, a Siba seems lifeless. A priestess calls on the spirits to release their hold on her body.
Magnified 600 times, our outermost skin is nothing but dead cells.
And if you think about how you would build a computer, then you would follow the circuit diagram and take all the components, wire them all up and connect them all together, and then voila, you'd have a brain.
Neurons, or electrically excitable nerve cells, are the key. Each neuron communicates with other neurons across gaps called synapses. A baby is born with 100 billion neurons, nearly all it will ever.
Bones, hearts, brains, all must marshal their forces and unite just to wake us up.
We create imaginary friends with our brains. When we start believing in them as reality, which all religions have, we are nuts.
The acceptance of a delusion as a reality, that's what religious is. It is a form of mental illness, and you can see them in these clips that I present.
Just like Christians speaking in tongues.
With his daughter revived and reborn, it's enormous relief.
See what the mind does?
Now that my daughter is resurrected, I can relax. My body is relaxed.
Here's another example of this delusion. Are these people sane that behave like this, like completely schizophrenic?
Will more than double in size.
What it's adding during this period of extensive growth are more and more connections.
The universe is within.
Billions of neurons form links with billions of other neurons. Eventually, a child will have a quadrillion connections. More connections than there are stars in the galaxy.
See?
When the brain makes us accept, like the delusion of God as reality and vivid, is dysfunctioning. Something is going wrong. Here are examples of dysfunction inside the brain. When people are religious and retarded, believing in all this nonsense, they don't realize what's going inside their brains. That's what makes them believe in this is stupid God and Christ and all kind of delusions, tooth fairy and Santa Claus and things like that. That's what makes people crazy. Our brains are inside like universes within, just like the stars.
If the girl knows the steps, that will prove that she has had contact with the spirit.
Read, quote, read in the name of your God who supersedes everything.
Why? Islam psychosis.
Quote, the Almighty, quote again, who taught the human being with the pen.
President's faith and begging for patience.
Understand just how much they love Imam Hussein, who was the Prophet Muhammad's grandson.
Religious believers are the greatest danger in our society today. These people are deluded and remain in the 5th century. We are in the 21st century. And it's very dangerous to be retarded like this.
Christopher was the saint for travelers. So that in a sense you have a shadow of that human impulse to say, I've got to check in and cover all bases. That's why there was polytheism.
Become the nation under God again.
And the molecules of these christ-psychotic retards are rotting away after he caused so much damage to all of us.
And a woman who had died came back to life again after Jesus' resurrection. They left the cemetery and went into Jerusalem and appeared to many people there. This I call the night of the ancient living dead.
A crazy belief is produced by a crazy brain. A sick brain produces this type of activities, which is actually insane, as you can see.
Christ-psychotics in the city of Nuts, Jerusalem, praying to the imaginary friend, Jesus, the Christus, or the Anointed One, which is actually simply penis Christ. Simply penis Christ.
Elements from many sources, including its oppressor, the Catholic Church.
Yes.
On the surface, Haiti is a Catholic country, but daily life still moves to the rhythms of spirit religion.
Same thing. One psychosis is as good as any other.
Fighting against the spirit.
Just like the Christ-psychotics, fighting against the delusions in their head. Convention of the Schizophrenics.
Religious beliefs and faith is for the insane, is for the schizophrenic and psychotic. These things don't exist. They are produced by our brain, but dysfunctional brains.
The ignorant and retarded christ-psychotics don't realize what's going on inside their heads. They have a brain with all this bunch of neurons, all this activity, as shown here in this picture, producing their thoughts, creating these delusions of God and nonsense.
No Catholic would say she's a polytheist, but they do like to check in with saints who are useful for this or that. St. Rita of Cassia is the saint for desperate causes. So is St. Jude. I'm born on St. Agatha's Day. She had her breast cut off, and she's a patroness of women with breast cancer.
Christ-psychotics are obsessed with blood, fear, and guilt that have caused tremendous damage to humanity, as shown in the Crusades and all the rest.
Here's another example of this delusion. Are these people sane that behave like this, like completely schizophrenics, in name of religious psychosis? No.
Many consider to be an amazing and somewhat shocking question. Did the Vatican actually euthanize Pope John Paul? An Italian doctor says that the failure to give the ailing Pope a feeding tube, not just days, but weeks earlier, caused him to die.
We mentally healthy people, also known as atheists, must demand that neurologists and other scientists label religious belief for the form of mental illness they are. These people are psychotic and they're going to ruin the whole world for all of us.